Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So here I'm going to show you how I Photoshop the froggy pose in obviously Photoshop because I just said Photoshop in Photoshop. So it is a composite photo, which means it's two photos in one because I never let the baby go. So this is how we're gonna do it. You can do either way. You can either start with this photo to be your final photo, then you just have to edit his hands in, or you can vice versa, whichever way you prefer. So I'm gonna go with copy his face from this one. So I'm just using the rectangular marquee tool, which is up there, to highlight his head. We're gonna copy and paste. You can copy through edit, copy, or you can just use a keyboard if you know the shortcuts. And then we're going to paste. I do everything through the shortcuts on the keyboard, or you can just go up to edit and paste it. Okay, then we're going to move it up. Just give a rough estimate, but then I will go over here to the opacity and bring that down so I know exactly where I need to put this. So because his head wasn't in the exact same position, it tilted just a little bit. I'm gonna have to tweak it so that way it all goes in together. Alright, his head looks perfect there. So then I'm gonna copy, I'm just gonna press OK. I'm gonna bring the opacity back up. We're gonna go over here to the mask tool. We're gonna click that, and then a little white box is going to appear right here on the right side of the screen, and we want it in black, so we're going to invert it. So Command I, invert it so that way it's black. And then we're going to go over here to the brush tool at 100% opacity, flow 100, smoothing 0, and then we're going to brush his head in and remove Mum's hand from the photo. That's it. That's the before, that's the after. I can, if I wanted to. When you are wanting to brush something on, like that we're brushing on from the other photo, if you want to brush off, so when you brush on, sorry, the paintbrush is white, and if you want to brush off, you got to change it to black. So I'm going to take these all back off because we don't need it. And I will just fix his ears there. So that's it. Perfect. Before, after. I will, only because my OCD is annoying me, I can see the shadows from before and after. So I literally just dropped the opacity from up here down to 50%, and I'm just gonna smooth it out so it's not so harsh. And then I will merge the photos, and the photo is a bit tilted, so I will go to the crop tool. I'm going to go to click on straighten and probably go from here to there. See how that looks. That looks a little bit off, so I will tilt it. I want his eyes to be leveled. There we go. Okay, but then that is not straight as well. So I want baby's face always to be in this middle box here. So I will move it over and see this negative white. That's not part of the photo. We don't want that there. So we will press content aware and press enter. And then Photoshop is going to work its magic and get that all in there, so we don't have to clone or patch anything up. There you go. Perfect. Okay. OCD again kicking in. Baby's hands are uneven, so we're going to go over to filter. We're going to go up to liquify, big tool brush, make it a bit bigger. We're just going to lift this hand up, make it a bit more realistic, bring it in because his hand wasn't that big to begin with. And then bring this down so we don't have any other Photoshop to work with. There we go. Alright, now we're going to move on to the actual editing. So I will go over to my my actions. This is the red remover, which I have to do properly. Okay. Alright, so what I do with the red, I will brush it on the entire body. And then with the eraser tool, I'm going to brush it off the lips. And then I will, so this is before, that's before removing the red, and that's after. So it makes the red just a little bit, it's not that much difference, but it does make a difference. If I need to go ahead and remove like patches, so see this big red patch over here, we're going to highlight that, press delete. Well, this is my shortcut. Press delete, so the fill box will come up. Make sure content aware is selected, the color adaptation is correct, is selected, blending is normal, opacity 100. Press OK, and that's going to get rid of the majority of it. If you need to do it again, you can go ahead and select it, do it again. If that doesn't work, you can just grab and drag. That always works. That red can go. So I'm literally just using the patch tool here. You select whatever you need, move it, and wherever you've moved it to, it will just copy and paste it. This can go, can go. Okay, if you're not bothered to do one click at a time, you can select this multiple selection up here. So I will get any visible pimple, red dot, flaky skin, select it all, whatever you feel that doesn't need to be there, you can select that all. I will do this once or twice depending if I miss things that I didn't see, and then again press delete. Your fill box will come up, press OK, and then that's going to get rid of everything. So wait, that was before and that's after. From here I will do creamy skin. So let me just zoom that back out. I'm going to paint this so that way his whole body is the same color. So that's before and that's after with it. I just love how creamy the baby skin looks. And then we're going to now, I'm going to try the flakes to go away just in case it picks up the tiny little flakes that I don't want there. So a lot of the times I just want to blur out so these aren't so sharp. Little flake there, little one there, flake, flake, tiny, tiny, yeah. Now if you don't like the opacity, you can always play with it. Just depends on your style of editing. You don't have to do exactly what I do or use the exact same actions that I use. Okay, that was before and that's after. So it's just, if you really focus more on the nose, it just smooths it out a bit. Alright, from here we will go to smooth skin. Now it is gonna look it's gonna look a bit much, but just keep in mind I do not leave it at this opacity. So I brush it on at 100%, the entire face, avoiding the nostrils, the lips, the eyebrows. If I do get it on the eyebrows, I'll just brush it off. Okay, and then I will do the hands as well. And I like to avoid any creases. See how I just went over that crease? It just looks like his doll. So that's at 100%. I will bring that down to either 30, between 30 or 40. So that's before and that's after. Just a little bit. You can go higher if you want your babies to look a bit more softer and smoother. that 50% is a bit too much for me, so I will drop it down to about 35, and I will flatten that out. And then we'd get into my vignette, how I do my vignettes. So what I do is I copy the layer, and with the eyedrop tool I will select a color that's in the photo. I normally go a darker color, but I originally wanted this to be white, but it became a bit too dark with the shadows, so I do want to lighten that a bit. So I will select a white color. I will go to the gradient tool, which is here, gradient. You're going to make sure the second option is selected. Make sure it's on normal, opacity 100, reverse, dither and transparency is all selected. And you want to make sure we go from transparency here to the color that you have selected. I will place my mouse right in the middle of the baby's face, click and brush it out. It will give me that soft look around baby. Now I am not leaving it like this. I will get the erase tool, which is over here. I'm going to take it off all of the baby, and I will probably put the opacity down just a little bit. So that's before and that's after. So it kind of blurs out around. It does lighten the shadows, and it kind of brings, it does. It brings your eyes straight to the baby, as opposed to when I first look at this, I will look at this area because my eyes just are naturally drawn to the darkness or any kind of shape. So with the vignette on, it kind of lightens that and it brings baby into more focus, which is what we want. If you needed to, you can blur the edges. However, with this particular photo, I will not. So this will actually be my final look. Actually, I see a little red blotch there. That can go. Now that will be my final look. That's all I do when it comes to editing. I don't like to tweak and fix too much things up. I like to get everything done during the session, so I don't have to do any or much work during post-production. And that is it for the Froggy. So I hope you all enjoyed that, and I really hope whatever I have taught you during this video, you have learned something from it, even if it's one thing out of all the steps. That is really amazing. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell below, so whenever I do release one of my new videos, whether it's shooting in the studio or editing videos, you will be made aware. I hope you all have a lovely day, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching my video today. If you are interested in more tips and tricks from your favorite newborn photographer, please follow me on all my socials, YouTube, Instagram and Facebook. And please subscribe and make sure you hit the bell button below so you are notified whenever I release one of my new videos.